G'day, guys, and welcome to the Supercoach Swordplay channel for the round 24 review of GameDay squad AFL. It's been a big year. Finished fourth overall in Contender. Absolute very pleased with that result there. And DR, know that you got into Contender, just wasn't able to crack into the top 10 at the end, but not too far away.
Look, what a season it's been. I'm very new to GDS this year, but it's been a fantastic experience from the starter comp to the classic comp. I was mainly a starter type man, but as soon as that new contender comp came out, I absolutely jumped all over it. And that's what got me really passionate about GDS. And because I've really grown my passion through the contender squad, I'm really starting to focus more on the classic squad now. As you build up your cards and your golds, your silvers, and your diamonds and your platinum peanut latums, for example, mate, all the goats of the game, it does become a lot more enjoyable because there's obviously more moves that you can make, more players you can put onto your field. But yeah, it's been an amazing experience. So I didn't end up going as well as you, but for me, I'm really going to take year one as a year of learnings. Obviously, first time, as I mentioned, playing the game. The scoring's obviously a little bit different to the main game that I play, which is obviously Supercoach. So being able to learn the rules, get my head around the scoring system, who are the right type of players to play. Do you go for the silvers, go all in on the golds? These are all the things that I've learnt along the way, and I think will put me in really good stead for next year anyway, mate. So not a great result in regards to the overall leaderboard, but yeah, a fantastic experience overall.
100%, man. It's been so good to be able to chat like a different form of fantasy with you and Rossco every single week in terms of like who's the locks, the voids, and pod zone. We provided this sort of picture here. This is like as raw as it gets in terms of this is exactly me just jotting down the players that we talk about every single week in and who says it, and just the scores on the left there. So we're going to take you through our round 24 locks, avoids, and pods as sort of a review of things. DR, do you want to take us through the locks in terms of players we said were a lock? I think we did quite well for the most part.
I'm looking here, 10 out of 13. Now, that is not too bad, Janath. That is not too bad. So always had your pick Dawson there with a nice 120, a 122 from Dacos, and a 176 from Butters. He was absolutely huge, wasn't he? And he was your selection there, mate. So very well done.
Team effort.
Max Holmes, only the 103, but when I say only, still triple figure digits. So we are counting that as a win. So well done there, mate. Cameron for me with a 127. Take that. And then it gets to my next one, which is the first dud that we see here. And that's Brian Myers, only with a 76 this week. That was super surprising. I was overly confident on Brian Myers, but just wasn't his week. But he's had a really solid season all in all. Baz with a 127. And again, that was a really good selection there. 115 for Heaney. I thought he could go a little bit bigger than this, but still, we take that as a win as well. The Bonds with a 165. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this, man, can you? What a man he is, and I think he should be the captain of the All-Australian side this year. Oh, so I've got two fails here. Can you believe that Grundy has failed me against West Coast? Oh, come on, Janath. Come on, Brody. You've done me real dirty here, mate.
Dirty.
But look, he got close, 4 points off triple figures, but I'm calling that a fail. Not going to claim that one. 155 for Whitfield, which was massive. Same as his teammate Ash with a 131. And Anderson.
Oh, mate. Noah Coaster.
It's been the diamond curse, I'm calling this, Janath. It's been the diamond curse. As soon as I've come across that diamond, his stocks have just gone down. So a little bit of bad luck there. But overall, 10 out of 13 for the locks. If you take my two duds out of it, I think that's a pretty good result, mate. Pretty proud of that.
Nah, very good, mate. Well, we'll move on to the avoids then, because this is a segment we've been struggling on in previous weeks in terms of it feels like a lot of the guns have just come out of play week in, week out. And I think this week was no different, as a matter of fact. So Tom Green, 111. Tim English, 138. Like, it makes sense logically why you would. He's coming up against the two ruck setup with Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson. But some of these blokes are just very, very good. And for that matter, I think it's okay. Tristan Cherry, 174 Like, that's ridiculous. His end to the season in the last 2 weeks, ridiculous. That's against Rob as well. Josh Dunkley, I thought he'd get a little bit stunted by the Hawks midfield, but he stood up when Lockie Neal was out, and it makes sense why he performed well. Now, Jack McRae, that was a big tick. The only problem is that everyone avoided him since he was the sub. Now, he
That's
did come
true,
on,
isn't it?
and he probably only played a quarter to get the 39, but I'm still off the fact that if he played a full game, I don't think he would have got to the 100. But, yeah, like, the writing was on the wall with the low time and ground and everything. Even when he did come on as sub, he was on the bench twice in the last quarter. Like, he was...
It's amazing, isn't
Just
it?
didn't want to get him. Just didn't want to play him. Dylan Moore, a 76. So that's another tick for us there, mate. Darcy Cameron just gets over the 100 with a 106 there. Luke Jackson, another successful pick with an 86.
Nice.
So didn't capitalize on the matchup as we were expecting. Timmy Taranto, 94 for you, DR. Well done. And then Jack Sinclair, 120. He started off slow, but got into the game as the game went on. All the halfbacks did well, except for Naz, really, in the end. And with Ash, Whitfield, Sinclair, and Naz there. So 4 out of 10, but I feel like we did quite well in nailing down some of them, but some of the big boys really did come out to play, and that's where we probably fell down. But I think the pods are looking a lot better, mate.
Oh, 9 out of 12. 9 out of 12, mate.
Can we just say all over 90?
They all over 90. Well, I'm going to look, as a pod selection, you need to think a little bit outside the box here, which can be a little bit tougher to do at times. So I think 90 plus for the pods, not too bad, I don't think. Not too bad at all, mate. So take us through the man up the top, Janath. Who have we got there? A success or a failure?
Andrew McGrath, 97, and Archie Roberts, 103. So the combination there, we'll say that they did
combo
okay.
for 100.
Take the combo, average it out for 100. Yes, that's the spirit, mate. We got Saki Merritt, 131. Sean Manor didn't capitalize fully on the matchup either. A bit like Brian Myers there, so a bit annoying, but that's okay. But then the Sydney halfbacks in Callum Mills and Nick Blakey again did really well. Do you want to take us through from Sammy Walsh down?
Well, I feel a little bit ripped off here, Janath. A little bit ripped off with my pod Sam Walsh, because his time on ground was, 58%, I think, from memory. So this, even though he went above the ton, this could have been closer to a Butters score, potentially. But all in all, I think that was a really good result for the time on ground. Then we see Errol Goulden as well. Phenomenal game from Errol. And I think that he's really going to bounce back next year. Really, obviously, interrupted season for him. But I think once the Swannies get a bit more continuity with their superstars playing at the same time, I do expect a bit of a bounce back from the Swans boys there. Phil Thorpe, again, very nice work there. Georgie Boy Hewitt. So he did extremely well for me in the other format as well. And a very nice pod there. Jimmy Peatling with a 113. So a very nice shout there. And who is the man down the bottom, Janath?
TDK. The new $1.9 million player for the Sainers with a 93 in his final game for Carlton. So
come on. 7 more TDK. That's the least you could have done for GDS fans and Carlton fans like Janath here. But look, very quickly, I just want 20 seconds. How are you feeling about TDK going to the Saints? Because I haven't even asked you this, mate. We've been chatting for the last probably 3 hours during recordings and all the rest off air.
No, I think if I was in his position, I'd probably do the same thing. When you're getting thrown life-changing money, look, it's no parting shot. And I feel like any sort of player, but he's not a top 5 player. Yes, at his best he is, but he just didn't show it consistently. I don't think he's a $1.9 million player. Like 1 million, yeah, because a lot of players are going to get that. But we just had to let him go in terms of balancing a salary cap against the needs of a single player. It's just impossible. And you would know, being a Lions fan, mate, that a lot of the best players at your club are on salaries that they probably deserve more for. But you can't pay everyone. And I think hopefully this is a signal in the right direction that with some more ball speed, with some more accurate kicks, we can really push forward as a club. And Mark Pittenet's he's not the best, but he's not the worst ruckman either. So I think the club will be better off long term with TDK taking this move.
Yeah, and look at Brisbane. we're third in the ladder. We've got Darcy Fort as base, who's been our number one ruck for the majority of the season. So it goes to show, and even looking back to Clark Keating and my man Bo McDonald, they're not necessarily superstars. They stepped up during finals, but it goes to show that you don't need an absolute superstar ruck to really compete at the pointy end of things.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Well, before we wrap up, mate, I just want to give one more giveaway. One more giveaway from the boys, courtesy of GDS. We have a 9-player rare pack valued at $20 to give away. And all you've got to do, we're going to spin a wheel, but all you've got to do is give us your most memorable GDS moment from this year. That's it. That's all you got to do. Comment down your most memorable GDS moment from this year. I guess for me, finishing 4th in Contender, very, very happy with that, mate. DR, what would you say your most memorable GDS moment is? Could be a pack opening.
Yeah, look, it's
competition.
It's hard to go past the platinum peanut. I'll leave that for second.
The platinum peanut.
The platinum peanut. I did get a couple of top 20 finishes in the weekly Contender, which was good.
Yeah,
but
nice.
I can't go past. Probably the most exciting moment for me was pulling the Noah Anderson diamond card. I love collecting cards, and I think a lot of the fun is the hunt. And to open that and get such an elite card, that's probably the highlight for me. Almost fell off my chair, mate. So lots of highlights during the year, but probably hard to top that one, I think.
Very, very nice, mate. So just leave it down in the comments. What's been the most memorable moment for you from GDS Aussie Rules this year? Now, in terms of content for Game Day Squad, Rossco and I, we're going to come out with plenty more football content. On top of that, when the NBL season and the BBL season, I'm sure the DR and some of the other boys will also be smashing into some content over there.
Absolutely.
But can't forget, Game Day Squad AFL Finals is just around the corner. All we're doing is we're waiting on to see who's going to be the 8th team to compete in the finals, and then we'll come out with some content. We've got a special Super Coach Game Day Squad Captain's Corner. How about that? It's like the Matrix. Everything's coming together, being prepared at the moment specifically for both Game Day Squad and Super Coach Finals. So very, very keen for that. Stay tuned for that on our X at @third_man up. So keep a watch out for that. DI, is there anything you want to finish off with?
No, probably the only thing is just to give Rossco a big shout out as well. He's really jumped on board the GDS experience. A big card collector himself, really likes getting into his select cards. And I think Rossco and I might be making a few trades, as I've got a couple of really nice St Kilda cards as well. But big shout out to Rossco. He's been pretty successful in all of the competitions. He's got some very, very nice cards as well. It was an all-star Naz and an all-star Gorn he got in the same pack, wasn't it? I think that's got to be close to a highlight for Rossco. He'll need to speak for himself another time, but I think that one will be pretty hard to pass up. But just a massive shout out to Rossco in particular, because he's been one of the real driving forces behind our experience with Game Day Squad, along with yourself, Janath.
100%.
And 100%. Just want to give him big kudos, as well as both Tommy and Cal as well. We've had some regular meetings off air and done a couple of things on air with the boys as well, and just stoked to be involved and got a really strong partnership with the Game Day Squad fellas moving forward as well into 2026 and beyond. So big thank you to all those guys, and a big thank you to anyone that's been tuning into these videos, mate. It hasn't been the biggest audience in the world, but it's a growing and a very loyal audience. And I'm expecting 100%. The numbers to really rapidly rise next year, now that lots more people in the community actually know a little bit about GDS, because it's such a fun competition, as you both know, mate.
100%. And before we finish, I just want to give a small testimonial from, and I got permission from this gentleman, Silver Pigeon. So Silver Pigeon, one of the greats of our community. He gave me a little bit of a testimonial about how we have impacted his GDS experience. So I'm just going to read it out to him. So Silver Pigeon finished in the top 10 in Contender as well. But he just sent this through to me. So taking a look through the year. So this is last year. Never did much good in starter. Average weekly position was about 250th, as didn't have enough decent bronze cards. Did snag 9th spot for round 24. But he managed a few decent weekly finishes in Classic once he got some better cards. But what he said is, sort of this year, it's it's really been sort of our potty. So I originally signed up last year at some point, but I only played 1 to 2 weeks. Pretty sure it was your vids about Contender that got me interested again. So hearing that, very, very glad to hear. And a lot of people have been very kind to me and Rossco and yourself, DR, about the content we've been putting out. And to anyone that's given a nice message or watches these videos, leaves a like, puts a comment, we greatly appreciate you guys. And look, we're going to put these content out into the foreseeable future as well. So stay tuned for that. And we really greatly appreciate your support. And we try to reciprocate that support as much as possible as well.
Very well said, mate. And Mark, Silver Pigeon ended up taking out some cash in a Super Coach cash as well. So he's elite in all formats of the game and an absolute gentleman of the community as well. So they're really kind words. And look, that's why we do it, isn't it, mate? Whether or not we get one person, 2 people, 100 or 1,000 people tune into these videos, we love hearing stuff like that. And it's all about the community. So, yeah, a really fantastic season, mate.
100%, mate. Anyways, I reckon we'll leave it at that. But thank you again for tuning in. And if you want to win that 9-play rare pack, all you've got to do is give us your most memorable GDS moment this year, and it could be all yours. So stay tuned for that. We'll be drawing that out in a couple of days. Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys.